Hello and welcome to the Lorna Marie Fitness Podcast, the show where we talk all things fitness, health, mindset and lifestyle to help you become fitter, healthier and happier. I help busy people who lack time, motivation and self-belief to look and feel great again. If you want to work with me, head over to lornamariefitness.co.uk, but for now, enjoy this episode. Welcome to the office in Kirkby and Ashfield. How are we all doing today? I knew it was going to be a long day, so I brought everything with me to the office. And I brought my laptop. I've got all my notepads. So the lady who I currently job share with, if you didn't know, I've got another job. I work in the family business. I do payroll, I do invoicing, I book working. Will works here as well. He's full-time, I'm part-time. The lady who I job share with is away on holiday, which means in my part-time hours, I have two people's jobs to do. So I knew it was going to be a big day. Yes, I'm there. Yay. Well, I'm glad you can see me because I'm looking into a camera. I can't actually see me. I can't see what I look like. And it's probably not very great right now. But we are here and we are here for the Q&A. Gang, did you see my live yesterday? I went live in the group just talking about everything that's going to be coming up and what we've been working on. I will be sending the members updates. You know how I do monthly updates. I will be sending that out later on this week. So you will have that, so you'll know precisely. But I wanted to let you know about the step challenge. So the qualifiers week starts on Friday. And also on Friday, we've got the birthday workout. It's going to be a morning of drop-in sessions, so you can do as much or as little as you like. It's whatever you want to do. You can stay for the whole thing or do one. Donate whatever you want. It's all for Cancer Research UK, and it's to celebrate the fact that we've been doing the online squad for 4 years now, which is amazing. So good. So I'd love you to be there. We're even going to start off with toilet roll aerobics, which is hilarious. Now, who's coming? Who's coming? Write in the comments if you're coming. I want to know. Wonder if you're coming. Mel, Vicky, hello. Are you all right? Let me know if you're coming to that. And also, the end of this month marks the final payment, not the final payment, sorry, final chance to sign up for the Edel Skyline Challenge. So it's going to be a challenge, yes, but it's doable, okay? You can do this. It's just a bit of endurance and we've got time to train up to it. So if you're going to sign up for it, yeah, you've got to be serious, you've got to be committed to your fitness, but also it's more of like it's like an endurance challenge. And we're going to be doing it with a professional hiking company. So they'll be able to, you know, if you're struggling or whatever reason you need to come down the mountain, then you can. And they know the route really, really well. So we've got that support there, which for me is like a peace of mind as well, because I know that we're all going to be really, really well looked after. Not saying that we wouldn't, but me and Will, we're not hiking experts. I'm a fitness expert. So kind of, yeah, I'm not an expert of the Peak District. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh no, Wendy, you're working. Oh, is that for the for this Friday? Oh, can I bring a friend? Vicky, is this on the Skyline Challenge or the one on Friday? Because you can bring a friend to either. For the Skyline Challenge, just make sure that your friend pays the deposit as well, so they've got their place secure. Then for this weekend, yeah, everyone spread the word because the more the merrier, and the more people we get coming, the more money we can raise for cancer research. So it's just going to be great. It's just a fun morning. That's what it's all about, really. But this weekend, oh my goodness me, did you see the picture? I hope I did you all proud, gang. I was up on stage in front of hundreds of people and it was just the maddest experience in the world. My feet never touched the ground. And before then, I was in London. So me and Laura went in London for like a day of upskilling and training. Then I got the train from London to Blackpool, got off at the wrong stop in Blackpool. And I mean, Blackpool was a great place, but the place that I got off wasn't so great. It was quite dodgy. And I had to walk on my own to the hotel in Blackpool. I had a Will on loudspeaker, like sharing my location, like, Will, if anything happens to me, at least you know where I am. And he was like nowhere near me whatsoever. Anyway, I know you're here for the Q&A. I just thought I'd let you know that. And other things that we've got coming up, I sent you an email about both the April and the May socials. So we're just doing a casual walk in April, and then in May we're going to do some cocktail making. In June, it's the Pretty Muddy Run. So again, if you want something to work towards, your first 5K or whatever, or like your first obstacle, that's going to be a really, really good one. It's running through mud and it's going to be good fun. Right, should we get on with the Q&A? Let's get to it, team. Questions. As always, fabulous questions. And if you are watching this on the replay, please put #replay. And I've got my work computer up here with all the questions up. It's actually a really great setup. Okay, question 1. I noticed that when I've been stressed over long periods of time, and even though I'm still exercising and being mindful with what I'm eating, my abdomen doesn't reflect the effort I seem to be putting in. I was wondering if you could talk about stress and belly fat, please. I'm thinking this might be the link. I need a reminder why it's good for me to plan in those holistic workouts, especially Yogascape. I always get the feeling that I've been for a spa treatment after one of those. Oh, thank you. Why, thank you. Now, Yogascape's so good just for reducing your stress, for the mobility side of things. If we don't practice mobility, that's when you find you're going to get a lot of tightness in your muscles if you're never doing anything to release them, and your flexibility. Like, we want to get to a sweet old age where we can still bend down and pick things up without going, oh, my back, or oh, my legs, or oh, my hips. We want to be able to bend down and tie our shoelaces, right? So that's why it's so important to be practicing mobility, flexibility. But as I said, Yogascape is really, really good for that mind, body, and that de-stressing factor too. I would 100% recommend it to everybody. Also really, really good for injury prevention. So I know you said I need a reminder why it's good for me to plan in holistic workouts. There you go. But also, yes, they can really, really have an effect on reducing your stress, which in turn can help reduce and basically put off any increase in abdomen fat. And the reason why we'd ever get fat stored around the abdomen is because we'd be in a calorie surplus. Like, just because we're stressed, we don't just magic fat, or I should say, I don't like using the word fat. Fat is basically extra stored energy. That's all it is. It's energy that we're storing. So the only reason we'd store any extra energy is because we've taken too much in than what our body actually needs right now. So does this all make sense, by the way? If I get my words in a right muddle, I've had a big weekend, okay? Try my best. I try my best. But basically, the only reason you'd ever store any belly fat is because we're overeating, we're in a calorie surplus. So yes, there may possibly be a link in increased cortisol levels. So cortisol is the stress hormone. And when we have cortisol in the bloodstream, it increases your insulin, which basically releases sugar into the bloodstream, which gives our body energy and puts you in that fight or flight mode. So when you are stressed, the body's a very clever thing. When you're stressed or you're in fight or flight mode, so imagine in the past, you're stuck in a cage with a lion. You're going to go into fight or flight mode. You need to run away, or you're going to be panicked, or your body's going to try and tell you to get away. I've just realized I've just put you in a cage. Let's say it's energy, fast sugar straight away. So it releases cortisol, and from there, that releases insulin, which releases sugar into the bloodstream, and bang, you've got the energy to go and run away from that lion with, in the cage with the door open. But obviously, hopefully, you're not running away from lions now, but it still works in a similar way. There is a potential link with the release of cortisol and where the body prefers to store excess energy. Notice I'm saying excess energy again, and that is around the abdomen. So firstly, you need to think about what you're eating. Are you in a calorie surplus? Now, when we're stressed, tell me if you can resonate with this, because I know I've done it myself. I tend to eat without thinking. So I might be at my laptop, might be at my computer, just eating, and then having another coffee and another coffee and another coffee. And that's increasing my levels of caffeine and in turn my stress levels. And I'm eating something else at the same time as doing some work, or I'm eating faster. I'm not being mindful. My hunger can go through the roof because I'm not actually sleeping as well. So then that messes with your hunger hormones. It can be all these things. So we end up or eating things that are highly palatable or are going to give you fast energy because that's what your body's kind of craving in that moment, in that state of fight or flight. So this is what we need to be mindful of. What are the foods we're eating? Are we eating mindfully? How have we been sleeping? And in turn, how is that affecting your hunger hormones? And how are we managing our stress? Are we actually doing anything to manage our stress right now? So what you want to be doing is, yes, you want to be focusing on those holistic classes. Sometimes when you've had a stressful day, one of the worst things you could do, I mean, it can work either way, but one of the things you could do, worst things you could do, is do a HIIT workout or do a workout that is actually going to increase the level of stress that your body is feeling. You might actually just need a workout to chill out and relax and be back in touch with your body and go back into your day feeling like you've reset your mind and body. So it's going to be managing your stress. It's going to be checking in with yourself. How do you actually feel? Eating mindfully and eating foods that are really, really going to nourish your body. But the only way that you're going to store excess energy is if you're eating in a calorie surplus. So it's about doing those things and find those coping mechanisms to manage your stress and make sure that you're looking after you. Okay, question number 2. I love the 777 stretches workout today. Thank you. I've been making a conscious effort, gang, to put in some bolt-on workouts. I know because it came back in the feedback from the survey that you want more of those. So whether you've not got much time or whether you just want to add it to an on-demand or live, you've got it there to do it. So I've been making a conscious effort to do that. I'm glad you've been enjoying them. I recently took my daughter to a hospital appointment only for the therapist to point out that I too have hypermobile joints. I was wondering if there's anything I should take into consideration relating to bendy joints when exercising. I wondered why I need to try the most advanced stretch option before I go into the stretch. Oh, if I need to, I think. Also wondering if this is why I find balance things so hard. Yeah, it definitely can be why you find balance things hard. It's that proprioception, which tends to be a little bit more difficult for people with hypermobile joints, hypermobility. It's just something to bear in mind, and something, be mindful of it, but keep practicing your balance as well. And there you go. There's another reason you need to do Yogascape. There's a whole section dedicated to your balance. Now, you want to be avoiding overstretching or overreaching in the stretches, and avoid any bouncing when you're in the stretches as well. You don't want to be doing that kind of thing. And to avoid overstretching, it's going to be a case of controlling the movement. When you put yourself into a stretch, be very wary, very controlled as you're going into the stretch, and when you're holding it, be checking in with yourself. How does it feel? If you feel any sharp pains, you've gone too far with it. You want to be able to feel the stretch in your body, but you don't want to feel like you're literally ripping yourself apart. Like that's not the point. You want to feel, in a way, it should feel quite nice. Any sharp pains are just a no-no. So you want to be more mindful of going into the stretch. Take your time going into the stretch. Anything progression-wise, do it gradually. And I'd also be very tempted to practice things that are going to work your stability and your balance. So there's your Yogascape, practicing your balance. And then with your stability, working on the muscles that are going to keep you stable, as in like doing booty band, so doing our body conditioning classes and working on your hips and working on the glutes, all of those kind of things. So strength would be a big focus in my mind. I'd do strength and then I'd be focusing on just being really, really mindful. And if it's anything that you're concerned about, definitely go see like a physiotherapist or see a medical professional about it. There's only so much advice I can give you on that kind of thing, but I hope that's useful anyway. Okay, next question is, I know this will depend on personal goals, but do you recommend a certain amount of cardio, holistic, and strength in a week? I mean, you hit the nail on the head there where you said depends on personal goals, because it does. It doesn't just depend on personal goals, though. It depends on how much time you've got. It really does depend on how much time you've got. And you need to be realistic with what you can actually achieve and what you can fit in without burning yourself out. So you want to be getting that balance between, okay, I know that I'm getting a good amount of workouts in. It's feasible for me. I'm enjoying it. It's good for my health and it's not stressing me out. I'm not overdoing it. I'm managing to fit it in, squeeze it in around my lifestyle. And also depending on what you want to be working on, like what are you working towards? Are you working towards really shaping and strengthening your body? Are you working towards being able to get into the splits? Are you working towards, I don't know, being able to finish your first HIIT workout, whatever it is? So that's going to be number one. for sure. If I had to say like a minimum sort of recommendation, I would start with the government guidelines, which is 150 minutes of moderate exercise, or notice I say or 75 minutes of vigorous exercise, and they class that as cardio exercise. You can even include like a fast walk in the moderate exercise. So, you know, like our power walking classes, that could be included in moderate, even like Pilates and things. So that can all be included in moderate exercise too. I would say, like bearing that in mind, if you're going to do a mixture of high intensity stuff, you know, like our combats, our hits, our sculpt, and moderate intensity, you could go somewhere in between there. So somewhere in between like 75 minutes and 150. But for me, that's where I'd start. So I'd be like, okay, how much do I actually need to do? Then I'd look at my time in the week, my timetable, how much time have I feasibly got? And then I'd be looking at what's my main focus. For me personally, no matter where you're at, I would be saying you need to do minimum 2 strength classes a week, minimum. And that is going to be ideally working with resistance like weights. Barbell, the best thing. Barbell, the best thing. Hand weight, second best. If you're putting off buying a barbell, don't get one. Go to the equipment area. I'm always banging on about it, but it's just so much more effective. And it's a bit safer too, in my opinion, anyway. And the booty band. So I'll be doing minimum 2 strength workouts a week. I'd be doing minimum 1 to 2 holistic workouts a week, ideally 2. So I'd be, you know, if you actually really are serious about improving your core strength, I would be doing a couple of Pilates a week. And then I'd be doing, you know, a couple of cardios. But like I said, depends on how much time you've got. And you could even use some of them as bolt-ons. Like if you did a half-hour stronger workout, and then you could do a 10-minute stretch bolt-on or whatever. Something like that where you're combining the time together. But it's very difficult for me to say exactly amount of what you should be doing every week. But I would say as a minimum, that is what I would be doing. And I'd definitely be trying to work into some sort of healthy number of minutes in my week. Be mindful of what my schedule looks like. So it means that, okay, to achieve my workouts this week, I need to get up early and do them every day, Monday to Saturday. I do that. For me personally, trying to fit them in when I'm writing my own plans, which I do exactly what you guys do. Every Sunday, I do my workout plan for the week ahead. I practice what I preach. I try and get a balance in there. And for my own personal workouts as well, I will be putting in minimum, depending on how many strongers we're doing in the week. But minimum, I'll put in my 2 strength workouts, my cardio, and then I'll put my holistic in there, making sure I've got enough rest. And I schedule it all out. Ideally, I try and get mine done in the morning where I can, because then I know that it's done, just in case something crops up in the day. That's how I like to do it anyway, but everyone's different. You got to do what works for you. Oh my goodness. This chat keeps coming up. So next week, we're doing a special week team, squaddy choices. And it's going to be you guys choosing what workouts you want on demand, but they're not going to be on demand. They're going to be live. So me and Will are going away on holiday for a week. And for the first time ever, we have squaddy's choices week. So everyone's choosing their favorite workouts on demand to go onto the timetable. Who won Tech Will's Sunday stats? But as I'm on this chat, the message keeps popping up. Okay, let's carry on. Let's move on. I hope that's going to be really fun, by the way. You'll have to let me know what you think. I'm loving the classes, such variety and great fun. Yay! I'm so motivated. So big thank you for getting me on board this journey. To better me to hear. The only thing I could do with some advice is what mix of classes I should do and how many. Feeling, but should I do something else so that I'm toning everywhere, or are these enough? Yes, you should. You need to be doing something with some weights. I would be putting stronger in there, or hip with weights, or upper body strength, or lower body strength, or booty band. That's what I'd be doing to add to that. But Pilates, there's definitely a strength element in there anyway, but that's what I would be doing. Also, should I do at least 1 class every day? And is it better to do an hour, or is half an hour enough? No, I would say that you definitely need to be having at least 1 to 2 rest days, absolute minimum 1 rest day. And that might include, if you wanted to, that might include like a really gentle yoga just to help release the muscles and to help mobilize, or really gentle Pilates, or it might just be going on a walk. But you need 1 to 2 rest days a week as a minimum. But if it helps you, like say, you know, for example, I use the example of doing workouts Monday to Saturday, like getting them done first thing in the morning. If that helps you get into a consistent routine, you could do that. And yeah, half an hour is more than enough. Half an hour is definitely more than enough. I mean, have you done our 20-minute workouts in the morning? Woo! It's definitely more than enough. Gone are the days where everyone thinks that, you know, if you don't do 45 or 60 minutes, it's not a workout. It definitely is. It definitely is. If you're getting that, you know, where I said 75 minutes of vigorous or 150 minutes of moderate exercise over the week, by the way, that includes the moderate exercise, includes walking, and it includes vigorous cleaning and gardening, by the way. If you're doing that, then it doesn't matter how you're making it up. Like, make it up how suits you, how's best for you. Should I work through all the Pilates classes on demand in order, or have a more targeted and structured approach? So sorry that I have so many questions. If it sounds a bit dim, and grateful for any advice. Oh my gosh, it does not sound dim at all. Any question's a good question. These are really good questions. No, you don't need to work through the Pilates in order. They're not in any order. They're in order of when we did them. So if you wanted a more structured approach, then you could. So for example, if you wanted to really work on your deep core, you could go in there and put like deep core, or you could go in and put transverse abdominis work. You could go in there and put like obliques if you want to work your sides, etc. So it's up to you really, but no, you don't need to go from the beginning on that one. All right, next question. How can I get started on my nutrition? It's overwhelming. I don't know where to begin. Do you know what? It really can be overwhelming. And I think when a lot of people first start with us, they feel like they have to almost start from scratch, like throw out everything they're currently doing. And 9 times out of 10, the people that do this find that they just can't sustain it. That it's just not doable, and it's just not realistic because the family are eating something else. They're not used to buying these foods, and all of a sudden you feel like you don't actually know what you do with your nutrition when you do. My best advice would be to look at everything you're eating right now. Maybe keep like a food diary for a week and just write down, okay, what am I having? What does my actual day look like? And be honest with yourself, like write everything down, and maybe the times that you're having it, so you could see what times maybe you're having a bit of a sugar crash and you're starting to reach for foods, or see if you've been grazing all day, or how do your meals look? Did you have a proper breakfast? Did you have a proper lunch, etc.? I'll be writing everything down, firstly, seeing what you're doing. Then I would take one meal and just change one meal or make a small tweak. And it's all about these little tweaks every week that make the difference. So you don't need to kind of throw the whole plan out of what you're doing right now. Make tweaks to what you're doing right now. So for example, if at the moment you are skipping breakfast, you're getting to 11 o'clock and then you're having a cereal bar and a banana and a yogurt, or you're having some sugary biscuits with tea, one easy tweak: try having a wholesome breakfast that's going to give you what you need. So that would be one healthy, it's like healthy swaps, isn't it? So think of one healthy swap you can do. If at lunchtime you're having a meal deal with a pack of crisps, well, can you swap it? Can you have a healthier sandwich with some hummus and carrots? You know, just dead easy swaps that you can do just to make your life easier. You don't need to throw the whole plan out. So that's tip number 1. So write a food diary and change one meal per week or one snack per week. Or if you want to, do a couple, but you know, don't throw everything out. Just think about little healthy swaps and tweaks. The other piece of advice would be place protein in the center of your meal, as in the emphasis needs to be on the protein. Start with protein and build your meal around the protein source. That way, you're going to be satiated for longer. And if you're exercising, it's going to help replenish your muscles and help you keep that nice, wonderful, shapely tone that we're after. And also, Your metabolism is linked to how much lean body mass you have. How do you get lean body mass? You do strength training or you do workouts, and you feed the muscles some protein to keep to keep your muscles. So there's the two top things. That's what I'd say. That's all you need to do. Don't overcomplicate it, and go to the nutrition area as well and just have a little look at that. And you might want to start with what I've said today and then maybe look at nutrition, the nutrition area next week. And anything you need or any questions in particular, pop them here because we're here to help. How can I get going on a push-up? I can't do it at all at the moment. Do you know what? The best way to get better at a push-up is to practice a push-up. I'm not even joking. So I'd go to the how-to area, and there's video tutorials on push-ups and how to progress your push-ups. So that's what I'm going to say to you today. I would say just get on there, have a look at that little section. It's going to walk you through the whole thing. But the best way to get better at something is just to practice it 100%. I'd really like to improve my upper body strength. What would you suggest I focus on, please? Oh, this is like push-ups. Yeah, you can focus on push-ups. Yeah, definitely that. If you want to improve your upper body strength, you could even do something, say to yourself, like every morning, I'm going to do 10 push-ups. And then the week after, I'm going to do 15. The week after, I'm going to do 20. And then when I've got to 20 push-ups on my knees, I'm going to shuffle my knees further back, or I'm going to see if I can start off on my toes, lower myself down, put my knees in the floor, and then come up on my knees. You could almost like make yourself a little plan to do that. I mean, how long realistically is that going to take you? Yeah, if you do that every single day consistently, you will get stronger. So if you do those wide push-ups, you're going to improve your chest strength, you're going to improve your tricep strength, your shoulder strength, your core strength. Try that. And also, I'd be typing upper body into on demand, and I'd be putting one of those in my plan a week. And I would also be trying the 3-minute push-up challenge on demand. And I'd also be putting stronger in once a week. So I'd make sure I've got at least a couple of strengths in there, and I'd probably give myself like a little challenge of 10 push-ups a day and increase it until I can try one on my toes. And also have a look at the push-up area. Next, squats seem to really hurt my knees. What have I been doing wrong? Should they hurt for days after? It's even hurting to walk. No, should not hurt to walk. Should not hurt your knees in that way. The number one reason that squats will hurt your knees is technique. So I would be going to the how-to area on demand, looking at squats, either film yourself or do it in front of the mirror and really slow it down. Make sure you've got the right technique. And I would make sure you got the right technique before racking the weight on your back, on your bar, because all you're going to do is exasperate anything you're doing. So make sure you got the right technique first, then start thinking about adding the resistance, adding the weight, and increasing the weight. And if you're unsure, send me a video of you doing the squat and I can have a little look. Another reason might be if you've got underlying issues already with your knees. It could sometimes be if you've been overdoing it a little bit and they're feeling a little bit achy, so then they need a bit of rest. But yeah, in general, they shouldn't be hurting your knees in that way. Struggling to get the steps in, currently at 5 to 6K. Do you have any tips? No. Yeah, I do. I would say, well done, firstly, if you have increased that already and you've got yourself up to that point. With steps, you want to think about the overall over your week. You don't want to be thinking about day to day, particularly if, like me, you got an office job as well. Like I probably have done about not very many steps around the office. I don't even want to know. I don't even know. I know that the rest of the day I've been active though. So, you know, it, it comes in waves. But no, what I would say is look at your week as a whole. If you have an office job, where can you get steps in? Like for me today, I went on a dog walk. I actually did 2 dog walks. So 2 dog walks and I'm in the office. I made sure I prioritize my steps there. If I can't get enough steps in during the week, I will make sure that at the weekend I schedule in a nice long walk. Another thing you can do is do like little walking breaks. So some people just go on a walk in their lunchtime, in their lunch break, even if it's 10 minutes, just getting outside in nature will make you feel so much better, getting some steps in. And I would say, don't try and do too much too fast. If you're currently at 5,000 steps a day, and that's even including, say, your average over the weekend, increase it by 20% and do that for a couple of weeks. And then when you've got there, again, increase it by 20%. Really, we want to be aiming for 7,500 a day on average over the week. That's a good amount, and it will also put you into the active category, and that's where you want to be. Active in terms of it will have long-term beneficial effect. So that's where you want to be. Also, if you find it motivational, get yourself a pedometer. And even better than that, get yourself signed up for the step challenge that we're doing on Friday. So Friday, we've got the qualifiers week. And then the end of that, we're going to allocate teams. So we're going to allocate teams on Sunday, the 7th in the evening, I think. If I can do it before, then I will. But it's basically going to be Sunday the 7th. It'll be me sat down with a huge spreadsheet. And Will, because I don't like spreadsheets. So I'll be looking over his shoulder, telling him what to do. But yeah, get yourself signed up for the step challenge, because I think that'll really help. So I'm trying to look over my laptop now. What is good for core strength? By the way, are you still with me, everybody? Are you still with me? Say yes, I am. I don't know if I'm talking to myself. I'm looking at my laptop and my face is frozen. So I'm like in this position where I'm like that. Yeah. And what's good for core strength? I have bulging discs in my lower back and possibly hypermobility. So, disclaimer. Wendy, you're still with me. Thank you. Thank you so much. By the way, this chair is well comfortable. So for core strength, I would be focusing on deep core strength, but I have to say as a disclaimer that I am not a physiotherapist and I'm not a medical professional. I'm a fitness expert. Feels a bit posh saying that, doesn't it? Like, who am I calling myself a fitness expert? But I am. I would be doing things that are going to work your deep core. Planks, dead bugs, Supermen, when you're on all fours and it's opposite arm, opposite leg stretched out. Pelvic tilts. If you go onto your on demand and you type transverse abdominis in or deep core, that's when we tend to do those sort of exercises, and just be really, really mindful of how it feels as well. Take your time, don't be afraid to stop. Make sure you are mobilizing your back too, and just following any advice that you've been given by any medical professional. But I would be focusing more on the deep core muscles and just making sure that you're lying on a comfy mat, etc., and taking your time to control everything that you're doing, control the movements. For the Edale Skyline hike, will I be fit enough or should I wait until next year? You know what I'm going to say? Do it. Not going to do it next year. So get on it now. Go for it. There's no time like the present. So we've got April, May, June, July, August, September. You've got half a year to get yourself walk ready. Come on. Yes, you can do it. Sign up. Next question. On a serious note, just do it. Right. I feel like my pelvic floor work. Sorry, team, one sec. I need to get my words out and actually see the screen for the question. I feel like my pelvic floor needs a bit of work. Which on-demand workouts would be good to add to my favorites to do on repeat to build it back up again? Right, pelvic floor. This is what I would do. The pelvic floor is really important because it is the base of your core. If you think about your core being your diaphragm at the top, your obliques at the side, your six-pack at the front, and then your pelvic floor, I'm just really ripping it to basics here. Your pelvic floor is the base. So important. And we don't do enough to work the pelvic floor. You've got to think the pelvic floor is like basically holding all your organs in. It's so important. So I would be doing Pilates. Pilates, core work, deep core work is going to help improve the strength in your pelvic floor. And anything that strengthens the muscles around that pelvic region as well, I would be working on those. Anything that's going to help you hold yourself up properly, I would be working on those kind of things. So put Pilates into your plan every week, and also Kegel exercises. If you go onto on demand and type pelvic in, there it will come up how to engage your pelvic floor. Basically, imagine you're stopping yourself from going for a pee and a number 2 at the same time. Yep, do it with me now. And you want to hold it for roughly 10 seconds, and then repeat that about 10 times. If you can't hold it for 10 seconds, don't worry. Just like literally do it. Some people do like short, sharp ones, short, sharp contractions, do it 10 times, and then repeat like 3 times throughout the day or whatever. Some people prefer to like try and hold it for a long time and then repeat again. Whatever you do, something is better than nothing. So maybe find a time in your day where you can actually schedule that in, like when you're at the lights in the car, when you're brushing your teeth, when you are boiling the kettle. Just try and do that then, and just make it part of your daily routine, even if it's just like once a day or something. That is going to help contribute to improving your pelvic floor strength. It's still proven, and that's still the guidelines of the NHS what to do. And if it is something that is really bothering you, I would go and speak to a medical professional. But there's so many reasons why this can happen. If you've been ill and you've been coughing a lot, childbirth, hormonal changes, they can all lead to weaknesses and changes in the pelvic floor. Another one is if you're somebody who is like a runner or does a lot of high impact, that can also really weaken your pelvic floor. So if that is you, you need to be making sure that you are doing these Kegel exercises and you're putting Pilates into your routine regularly, at least a couple of times a week. Anyway, I think that was everything on pelvic floor. Yep. I really hope this has been useful, team. Please let me know in the comments if you've enjoyed this. And I need to hop off now. I am off into another meeting right now. I'm gonna be stuck in Kirkby and Ashfield for like until about 9 o'clock tonight, I think. So I'll see you bright and early in the morning. But let me know if this has been useful. As always, I'd really like to know. I put on this as like an extra, like coaching session as an extra to give you that extra support in your journey, not just from the fitness side of things, but also from whatever you need help with. That's what I want to help with. Anyway, see you soon, team. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see you bright and early. Oh, Mel's put great. Thank you. Oh, you're so welcome, Mel. Thank you so much for joining me. It's quite funny doing it from here. See you soon, team. Bye.